Y'all, y'all, y'all. Hey, y'all, hey, y'all. Hey, man. I guess being sidelined, I was thinking maybe I can do Motorcycle Monday early. No, I'm sad, guys. And I feel like so lost. You know what I mean? When you have plans to do one thing and then something else happens and it throws a wrench into it, and you have to find out another way, a roundabout way of doing things. It like really just, I don't know about anyone else, but it just drives me crazy. It's like I'm in between, not necessarily like a rock and a hard place, yes, but it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. I've never been one to be able to make like real quick decisions. I'm so indecisive because I kind of want like everything all the time. I just wanted to really go like how I plan to go, and that's it. And this is when it's happening to me. Now, if it's someone else like asking for something or thinking about something or doing something, right off the bat, I'm like, you have this, option. But then when it's for myself, it's just like, I don't know, what should I do? Should I this? Should I that? Or whatever the case may be. So, for instance, today, in Baby Shark and his craziness, and you know what's really weird, and I guess I'll talk about it tomorrow on Motorcycle Monday. When do you call it? When do you call a trip a trip? Like, you know, when do you call it? When do you say like there's been enough signs that, you know, I probably don't really need to go? This wasn't really one of those times, but it kind of was because, you know, I've been chasing my 50 Rides One Nation roads. I had some supporting that I was doing. So honestly, I've kind of been on the road for, almost every weekend for the last 5 weeks. Since Labor Day. Labor Day was like the first time kind of really out. I'm trying to think. I went somewhere August, but I don't really remember where. But Labor Day weekend is when I rode the 1,250 miles for Pat's, for Old Man's 125,000 miles in 125 days. Like, you had to do a saddle sore to do that. What's up, D Means? What's up, Boogie DK? You had to do a saddle sore for that in order to get that certificate, like if you donated to his charity. So that was Labor Day. I did the 1,000 miles for that. Then the weekend after that, I started my New England states, and I went up and I did half of those. So came back next weekend. I think I may have waited a weekend, then went the weekend after. No, the next weekend. Where did I go? Detroit or something like that. I went somewhere. Then the weekend after that, I went back up to Maine. Then the next weekend is when I did, which was last weekend, was Arkansas for the Ride to E in Oklahoma. So I just been going. So I say all that to say, this weekend was Friends and Family down here in Durham, North Carolina. This has been planned since, I don't know, earlier in the year. Like, maybe even last year, it may have been planned. So I already knew that this weekend was here. Now, I did not remember that I was on call. I don't think I looked at the on-call rotation, but anywho, it's North Carolina. North Carolina is a little over 500 miles. It's literally right here. When I do all my saddle sores, I kind of come to North Carolina and go right back up because it's, like I said, a little over 500 miles. Come down, go right back up. So I'm there, and I was supposed to leave Friday. but the weather was like 43 degrees. It was like freezing. It was dark. I was at work longer than I expected to be. So I didn't really want to leave straight from there and get on the road to come down here. So it's like, I need a nap. I need to lay down. I wanted to make sure, everything was in order at the house, get, Xavier straight and everything else. So I was like, again, it's only, and I keep putting an emphasis on only, because I'm so used to doing more than 500 miles on these trips. So, and my mind was kind of refreshing. When I put the address in, I was like, oh, that's only like 8 hours. Like, if that, like, you go kind of faster on a bike. But I was like, I don't have to leave on Friday. I don't have to ride through the night. Even though like I got dressed to do it, and I made my post and everything else. I was like, I don't have to do that. Like, I can really just lay down and rest and just go in the morning, still get here, because the picnic started at noon, but we were able to start setting up as early as like 8 or 9 o'clock. So again, if I got on the road at 3 or 4, I was still here by noon. That was good. That was what's up, Big Pot? That was still a good thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could do it. So fast forward, I'm getting ready, and I actually overslept. So my son had to be at work at 8 o'clock, and he's like, Mom, can you wake me up? I'm like, Xavier, I might not even be here. Like, set your alarm, XYZ. Then meanwhile, it was me. And so, I hopped up, called my sisters, like, hey, I'm on my way. Y'all good? They had everything anyway. They had the tent, the banners, everything they needed to go to the park for setup. So I'm on my way down. But when I tell you, and this is probably why I ride by myself too, it takes me so long just to get out the house, because I'm a girl's girl. And I don't know, I'm looking at this, I'm trying to pack that, I'm thinking about this, thinking about that, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. I'm completely dressed, like I have my base layer on, but I don't have my suit on because I don't want to get too hot. Then I'm trying to do this, then I'm trying to do that. And I'm like making sure, when Xavier gets home, this will be there, that'll be there. And so, like SpongeBob says, 3 hours later, now I'm on my way out the door. So I'm in the garage, and I have my cup. And then I dropped my cup, and my cup had my Muju juice in it. Like, by my house is like a coffee shop called Aroma Joe's, and they have these energy drinks. Like, it has like vitamin C, ginseng, something else, something just good, spicy, wake you up, give you juice, like all these immune boosting things or whatever. And I had gotten it the night before, because I was supposed to leave the night before. But like, these cups keep your ice and everything else like that. So I'm about to leave out, and I freaking drop it, and I'm like, Urgh. And so now I'm thinking like, do I even, in my mind I was like, do I even need to go? Like, the girls are there, like they have everything under control, but I always feel like I have to be there, a part of things, because like, I'm national. Like, I just always feel like it's my responsibility to be where my team is. You know what I mean? And I guess I could have kind of really left it to them, but I didn't want to. Like, I wanted to be a part of it. Like, like Michigan chapter came down, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, like, like our AZU girls were trying to get over. So I really just wanted to be there, even though like I was kind of tired. I'm like, I rested last night, I can do it. And so also in the garage, I have like a case, and I thought it was on my GoPros. Like, I have like 3 GoPros. I have like a 10, an 11, a 9, and I have my like 360. So that's 4. And I thought it was that case, because I really haven't been filming, because like I can't get the footage off of the GoPros, and like my 360's been acting like really weird. I think I put too big of a disc, like a memory card in there, and it keeps saying formatting, and it's not working. So then it just like didn't come on at all, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with my GoPro? So I hadn't been taking it, but something like when I saw the case, I picked it up, and I was like, oh, maybe that's the sign, like I should take it. But when I opened it, it was my jump box, and I'm like, oh, it's my jump box, because the cases look the same. So I zipped it back up, and I put the jump box down. I'm like, I don't need a jump box. Like, my battery's new, I just got everything straight. Like, I don't need it. Why did I put the jump box down? Why did I put the jump box down? So anyway, again, 3 hours later, I'm dressed. I'm trying to go, and I couldn't find my heated gear jacket. I have two of them, a yellow one and a red one. I know my yellow one was somewhere because it was in my saddlebag. The red one I haven't seen. I thought it was hanging up, but it wasn't. So I'm like, no, it's cold as hell. It was cold. It was like, now it was like 48 degrees, but it was about to be 51. But I still knew, again, going down West Virginia, the temperature was going to drop. I needed my stuff. So I'm looking. So finally I find it. I get it on. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. So I get everything. And then by this time, it had started sprinkling a little bit. And I'm just like, see, this is what I mean. But whatever. I had a full tank of gas. I didn't have to stop. I was on my way. So I leave out. I get through everything. Then, like I said, it gets colder. It was raining. Get down to North Carolina. Everything's good. The girls were there. I got into a little bit of traffic. There was an accident, so we were sitting for a little bit. I don't know why I put the jump box down. I really don't know why I put the jump box down, because I just really felt like I wasn't going to need it. And it's so crazy, because it's usually in my saddlebag, and I took it out my saddlebag for something like local, but I took it out, but I picked it up and I put it back down. So again, fast forward, we get here. It's a nice event. And mind you, all while I'm riding, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get to eat. Like, I never eat on the road, because I don't want to get like the itis, and I'm tired and I can't keep going, because normally my trips are 1,000 miles or more, but this was half of that. And I'm just like, ooh, I'm gonna get a steak, and I'm gonna get to sit down and rest before the events tonight and everything else. So I get to the hotel. I leave the park, get to the hotel. I'm looking for places to eat, and there was like a place right down the street. And so I went there. They had Captain and Coke, and she put grenadine in it and made it like a cherry Coke for me. I got like a cheesesteak with like homemade fries. I mean homemade chips. There was some guys in there. It was their birthday. We're laughing, talking about riding. The one was from Jersey. Good old time. I'm like, wow, this is what it feels like to get somewhere early, because I'm never early, because it's always all day escapade, because I'm thousands of miles away from my destination. So I'm riding all through the night. So it felt like so good. Matter of fact, even after I was like close to Chick-fil-A, and I like the nuggets. So I went and got grilled nuggets, plus like I had my food still left over. Man, I was on cloud 9. Got to the hotel. I'm feeling groovy from my Captain and Coke, because literally the little sports bar thing was a block away. I could have really walked, but I didn't. So I get in there. I got to get in the shower. I took a nap, y'all. I took a nap from there to Eden before even going to an event. It was so bomb. Like, I have to start getting places early, because it felt so good, so refreshing. Anyway, get to the event. We won largest female in attendance. I got a plaque at the picnic. Like, everything was all good, to the point that I knew there was going to be bad weather today. So I kind of try to check the radar, and I'm like, okay, if I get up between this time, I should be good. So but I also wanted to wake up naturally. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't really want to have to set the alarm, because again, I'm only 500 so miles away. That's a drop in the bucket, period. Yeah, I got to take a nap. I got to take a nap too. I was like, whoa, this is what I'm talking about. So this morning, woke up, look outside. Actually, I heard it first, and I go over to the window, and the ground's wet. I'm like, okay, so I kind of missed my window. It's raining. I'm just like, but it wasn't even hard rain. It was that stupid feathery rain that gets in your way. This is more nerve-wracking than anything else. But anyway, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get ready. Got out the shower, and I just sat back down, and I'm like, damn, I gotta put this base layer on again, my heated gear, even though I didn't think I was going to need it, but I needed to have it on just in case I had to plug in. And I really just started thinking about it. I'm like, I don't want all these clothes on. I just want to have a nice little 8-hour ride and just be whatever. But I knew that wasn't going to be the case. So I had my base layer on, and then I just laid back down. I was like, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. It was like such a cool weekend, and I didn't have to rush because I didn't have thousands of miles to have to get back. So I'm just like laying there, scrolling through Facebook, looking at stuff. You know what I mean? Just relaxing. So I finally get up, pack the bag, and I go outside. I go to start the bike, and it doesn't come on. It does not come on. Like, so the little gauges did their gagey thing, the little light in the middle, but my display did not come on, and the little gauge for my battery stayed to the left. It stayed at, like, I don't know, what does it go from 8 to 14 or something like that, or 6 to 14? It stayed over here. I'm like, I know my battery's not there. And so, like, I'm walking around the bike because I have the auxiliary lights. And so when I got back from the event last night, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was dark. North Carolina's roads have no street lights. It was dark as hell. So I had those on last night, but I know I turned them off. So I'm walking on the bike, and even like my other lights, those were off too. So I'm like, why is my battery dead? And then I'm like, my battery's dead because you took the jump box and you left it in the goddamn darn garage. I'm like, of all the times to leave the jump box, I actually need it. I was like, Piper, what are you doing? Why did you leave the jump box? And you know how hard it is to find somebody with jumper cables. For real. So I'm looking around, asking people. Nobody has jumper cables. So finally, these Muslim sisters were on their way to a conference. They come out, and I asked her, I said, do you have jumper cables? And like, where the hotel was, there was a gas station, but it was a ways away. So I had to like walk along like the highway to go to the gas station to buy jumper cables, and then come back to the bike and pray that somebody checking out was going to let me use their car and the jumper cables. But these ladies had jumper cables. So I jumped the bike. Well, first I put them on there, and first Baby Shark was just like, that's not good enough. So they had to sit there, and they had to get to their conference. So I'm like, Baby Shark, let's go. Come on. So now do it again, and then Baby Shark starts. I'm like, okay, good. And so I already had the dealerships. There are 3 dealerships in this area that I was going to go do my check-ins at, and, you know, get the little coins. So the first one was only like 12 miles away. So I was like, good, I'll have them, you know, check the battery voltage and everything else. Get there, everything's fine. And it's so crazy because when I was there, then I was like, oh, nice CVO. Did you see the one that I have in there? Everybody's always trying to sell me a bike once they see the miles on this bike. And I'm just like, dude, I'm not trading my bike in. Like, if anything, I'm going to keep the bike and just get another one because it has sentimental value at this point. You know what I mean? So then I go to take off, and again, everything's good. But as I'm riding, it feels like my front tire, it feels like I'm riding like this. And I'm like, what is that? And I'm like checking, I checked the tire pressure, and both of them, the tire pressure is good. So I'm like, my tire pressure is not low, but it feels like I'm riding on, the bumpy things that's right by the shoulder, like the little warning strips, like the burrups. I call them the burrups. That's what it feels like. The bike is just, and it's riding so rough. It feels like I'm on like a really, really rough road, or I'm on those strip things. I'm just like, come on now, what is going on? And again, I'm checking the tire pressure, and I'm like rolling it to see if it straightens out, like when I go, and then when I go slower, if it's still that way. And then finally, I'm just like, let me check, like something's not right. And I'm like trying to like listen, trying to look, trying to feel. So I get off, go to the gas station, and I'm feeling the tire. I check the tire pressure at the the air pump, everything's good. Then when I go and so then I'm like rolling the bike, and it feels good. I like look under the bottom, nothing. So when I go take off, it's like, and I'm like, and it almost sounded like I was dragging the kickstand. So I look down, and the kickstand's not down. I'm like, what is that? And it almost it sounded like something was wrapped around the tire. Like first I thought it was the front tire, and so I'm looking, but there's nothing there. Then when I did it again, and I'm really listening, it kind of sounded like it was in the back. So again, it sounded like something was like wrapped around, like tangled up in the rear tire. So I'm checking my bungee cord. I'm seeing if something like dropped down and it wrapped around, but it didn't. So I'm like going again, and I stop and I put it in neutral, and I'm like rolling it and pushing it, and I don't hear it. You only hear it when the bike is on and you engage the throttle. So as soon as I go to take off, and like I dropped the videos. If you listen to the video, like when when Brother Israel is putting the bike on the trailer, you can hear it. It's like something insane. And so even when so anyway, I'm at this gas station. I'm like, the dealership's only 20 miles. I think I can make it. So I leave the gas station, and I'm like riding like low, like in like second gear, like maybe 20 miles an hour, 20, 30. And I don't really hear it. But as soon as I go to like come down that hill and up, I had to roll the throttle a little bit more. Then I hear it again. And so now I'm like nervous. I'm like, I don't want to keep riding it. And it sounds like it's grinding. And I don't want it to be the engine. So I even stop. I'm like checking the oil. But I just got the oil done. And I'm like, okay, the oil level is good. And plus I had the oil level checked in Natchez in Alabama. And it was fine. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm like checking, like almost to make myself feel like the oil was low. And it was the engine that was grinding, because I don't want my engine to seize. So I'm like, I'm off to the side of the on ramp, and then that's when a truck comes with a trailer and a motorcycle on it. And that was, as I found out, Brother Israel, and he's like, is everything okay? I'm like, no, it's not okay. It's not okay. I'm hearing the grinding. I'm like, maybe if you can listen when I pull off, you can see if something's like dragging or tangled up in it. So then he parks his truck, and then he walks up, and so I come back a little bit so that I can ride forward, and he hears it too. He's like, it almost seems like something's tangled up. So we take the saddlebag off the side, and he's looking, and we don't see anything. So we're listening closer, and it sounds like it's like inside the turnkey, like where the stator and stuff is. So it's like, no, I don't. That doesn't sound right. Blah 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 blah. You know, like. I'm like, maybe I need to pull it back. So then I get off the shoulder, like he helps push it back, because it's like down a ramp and back to get back to the gas station. So we do that, and you know, he's listening, and I mean, bottom line is there's nothing that can beat. So I'm kind of in the middle of Raging Bull Harley and Down Home Harley. I said, well, I just left Raging Bull, but Down Home is towards home. And if they can fix it there, that'll probably be better. Like one was 16 miles, one was 21 miles. So I'm like, let's go that way, because they were going that way too. So he was like, he's like, well, what I can do, he said, I can take my bike off the trailer and you can ride it, and I'll put your bike on and, you know, tow it down. And I'm like, really? Like you did? Because I was just going to call AAA. But my fear was, because it was like 1:30, almost 2 o'clock at this time. They closed at 4. I didn't know how long AAA was going to take to come. And then they come, and then we get there, and the dealership be closed. You know what I mean? And I have RV Premier Plus, and I think you get like 250 miles. But I was like 500 miles away, and I'm like, I think you only get that like one time a day. So he's like, we can do that. That'll be easier, and I'm already going that way. So he takes his bike off, and he puts it on, and then that's the video you can hear. It's like making that noise. And when I tell you his bike, it's a Road King, which is like my favorite bike. And he had bars, and so I'm like stretched far, and I'm just like, oh my God. And you know, like how it is. First of all, when somebody like lets you ride their bike, you want to be as careful as you can, because you're on somebody else's stuff. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh my goodness. And it's raining. And you know, like the paint is slippery sometimes, and like the slippery lines. And he has these bars. And like when it was going, like it was like creaking. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm like trying to shift. And then like his bars are so high, and he has a big tire on the front. And I'm like trying to turn it to the right to come down and then back up. And I know he's like watching me like, this girl gonna be all right. And I was like, you feel okay with me? He's like, well, you got all that gear on. I think you know what you're doing. I was like, yeah, but I was like, I could drive the truck and you could ride your bike. He was like, no, I'm good. So I'm saying a prayer. So I get on, and I'm telling you, I was at the bottom of that hill, and rights aren't always my friend. Like, I tip over on the right in a minute. You know what I mean? And there's gravel all over the roads in North Carolina. Like, what is up with that? I'm like, damn, pile of gravel here, pile of gravel there, gravel, gravel, gravel. And I'm like, what the hell? So I get out of it, and I was supposed to be following him. Man, once I got that bike in motion, I was like, peering. And so they pulled out behind me, so everything's gravy. Get there, get to the dealership. And service is closed. The dealership is open, but service is closed. And I'm like, oh my God. I should have went back to the other one. But then when I called the other one, their service is closed too. So now I'm like stuck here. And this is where I say, if it were someone else, I would have a ton of solutions for them. But because it's me, I really didn't know what to do. I'm like, oh my goodness. So the manager, Darren, the general manager was there. He's like, it sounds like it's the compensator. And then shout out to Rare Breed Hurricane, who works at that dealership. And he's actually my Facebook friend, but I've never met him. And we've interacted so many times, like online. But and he like follows me, and that's so cool. And like I follow his rides too. So he was like, when I was talking to him, he's like, come on in. And like he's talking like regular. He's like, oh, he's like, you might not know who I am, but I follow you. We're Facebook friends. And so like when he said, I was like, blah, 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 whatever. So he's like, service isn't here, but we'll take care of you. And then him too gonna say, I got a CVO over there in the corner. I'm like, man, I'm not buying no motorcycle. I just need my motorcycle fixed. But there was like nothing that can be done. And again, like Nikki keeps saying, this is the country, like country. There's nothing here. Like we had to go 2 exits down the road, even for a hotel and like food. Well, there was a hotel like right by the dealership, but one was a Night's Inn and one was something else. And he was like, and I'm like, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, And I'm in between airports, like Greensboro, which is a small airport, is maybe like 60 miles away. But when I'm looking at flights, there was like one at like 8 o'clock to like 8:48 tonight. They got to Pittsburgh at like midnight. And then like Raleigh-Durham was like really, really far away. So I'm just like, damn. But then I'm like, if I fly home, I gotta fly right back. And I'm like, that's kind of whack. Like, you know what I mean? And so I'm thinking that, and I totally forgot about a car because I'm on a motorcycle. Like, the last thing on my mind was renting a car. And then when I talked to Reef, he's like, well, you could have rented a car, drove home and then drove back with the car to drop it off when your bike was ready. And I didn't even think about that. But I'm like, how long is it going to take the bike? Like, how long am I going to have this car? Like, you know what I mean? All these different things. Like, really, and I'm only 500 miles away. And my sisters were down here, but they're already on the road and they're already gone. And now if it were me and someone was here, I will hop in the car in a minute, ride down there, get them and bring them back. But I don't really have that. You know what I mean? Like I can't call somebody from Pittsburgh to be like, hey, can you come to North Carolina and get me and take me home? And possibly bring me back down here when it's time to get my bike. And I'm just like, when that reality like really hit, I'm just like, dang, that's so crazy. And it's like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. Even trying to call home to have somebody with a truck and trailer come to get me and the bike and bring the bike home and me and get the bike fixed at home. I don't like to be a bother or a burden to people. So I didn't even want to try to start making those phone calls and like, hey, can you call this person or that person? Can this? So here I am, just sitting and waiting and hoping that it's nothing major and that it's like really, really minor. And then I didn't even think about it until after like they had pulled off. I could have left the bike and rode back with Riders for Righteousness because they were going to Cleveland. And Cleveland's closer to Pittsburgh than Burlington, North Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been easier for somebody to hop 2.5 hours to come get me versus this. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like I said, like when it's me in a situation, it's so hard to make those decisions as to what I should do or how I should go, because I'm used to the bike just being right and I just ride it and get home. I don't think I've ever been stuck on the road. Yes, I have. When I first got the my front tire after I hit that like pole and pothole in April, and it was at Steel City, and they like fixed it. And I left and I rode to Arkport. Well, I was actually doing a ride around. I was doing a tour of honor, like 1,000 miles or something, but I was in Arkport, New York, when the bike started making noise, and I called Steel City, like, hey, something's wrong with this motorcycle. Like, what did y'all do, or what did y'all change? Like, because something's not right. They're like, oh, we'll come get you. I'm like, I'm about 500 miles away. How you gonna come get me? And they're like, oh, you're gonna probably have to find a dealership somewhere around there. And that's where I found, like I said, it was Arkport, New York, and I took it to that dealership. But they had a loaner. They gave me a loaner, so I left my bike. They gave me a bike, and I rode home. And then when my bike was ready, I took their loaner back, and I got my bike. Down home, Harley does not have a loaner at all. So here I sit. And I asked to. I was like, y'all have a motorcycle I could use to get home, and I'll bring it back when y'all ready for me to get mad. They're like, no, girl. We don't have no bike for you. But anywho, Hurricane was really, really cool and very helpful. Thank you very much, brother. He took me to Zaxby's, which I've never ate at Zaxby's. I keep hearing all these different things. So I got a salad. I got a chicken salad from Zaxby's, and he brought me to the hotel. So waiting for tomorrow to see what tomorrow brings and whether Baby Shark is going to be sharking again. I'm so sad. And you know what else too? I normally bring my laptop. I usually have that with me because I'm always working, but I'm only 500 miles from home. So I was like, oh, I'm going to be back. I'll be back before 1-2 o'clock. Like, I can work once I get back, so I didn't even bring my laptop. And now look at me. So I'm going to have to go downstairs and use the hotel computer to do my work that I normally do on Sundays, and hope that the firewall is not up and I can actually even get in to do my work. But yeah, that's me and Baby Shark sob story for today. I'm praying that everything will be good. Oh, another note. I have MadJet insurance that I had to get when I rode the Iron Butt Rally. And so MadJet insurance, when something happens to your motorcycle and it becomes totally disabled, like my bike is, like it can't ride like at all, they will take your bike home. So I called them, and I'm thinking it's a next day thing or same day thing. This woman said the process is like 2 to 4 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks for transport to get the bike home. And because I wasn't injured, they couldn't take me home. Because MadJet for the rider is hospital to hospital transport. So if the situation would have been really, really bad, where like I was in the hospital here and I was trying to get back home, they would transport me from the hospital in North Carolina to the hospital in Pittsburgh. So fortunately, I didn't need, fortunately I didn't need a hospital, and I was not a hospital, so I didn't need hospital transport. But they will come get Baby Shark. But I'm like, they probably can fix that by tomorrow instead of waiting all that time. But then in my mind, again, making these decisions, do I leave the bike here? Do I just go home and let them get the bike 2 to 4 weeks later? But then I'm like, is it going to be taking up room at the dealership? Is there going to be a fee for that? Like, you know what I mean? For them to store it for all that time. So I'm just like, I don't freaking know. Yeah, Baby Shark loves to go to the doctor. Baby Shark goes to the doctor every chance he can get. And Baby Shark knows that we're supposed to go to Dallas in a couple of weeks. And he's probably like, yo, You done drug my behind all over the place. I'm not going. I'm gonna just get sick. He called in sick, y'all. And so I don't really know if he's sick, for real sick, or if he's faking sick, so he don't have to do no more work sick. But here I am, and here I will be till tomorrow at least. So thank you guys for listening to me rant and rave. Hopefully I'll have good news tomorrow, but we'll see. We shall see. Thank you for tuning in and listening to Running Your Motor with Piper. It was this motor this time and not this one, because Baby Shark is disabled. Baby Shark's disabled right now. But hopefully he'll be back up and running soon enough. So I will check in with you guys once I have better news. But yeah, keep the sunny side, keep the wheel sunny side down, and keep it moving. What's up, Pimpin'? You have to go back in and watch it and listen to it so you can hear what the heck Baby Shark is doing, put me through. He doing me dirty like your name. I don't know. And I'm so good to Baby Shark, man. I'm so good to Baby Shark. Give him all the best amenities and the luxuries and everything else. And he gonna do me like this. I don't know. But I'm hoping that it's not all bad. But shout out again to Riders for Righteousness Motorcycle Ministry. Brother Israel for lending me your motorcycle to get from, I think we were at exit 166 down to 145. That was a heck of a ride. Your baby was, that thing was banging. It was like, and then like, it was feeling real good too, but I didn't want to just like really ride it because I'm supposed to be in distress. Like, you know what I mean? But it was nice. I gotta get a Road King, y'all. I gotta get a Road King. But anywho, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much again to Rare Breed, Hurricane. I appreciate you. Something about this motorcycle culture and the people in it, they go above and beyond. You know what I mean? Because although he works at the dealership, his obligation kind of really stopped at the dealership. You know, he took the bike in, got it situated, you know, rode it up or whatever, waiting for a service to get to it. But he extended past that as a member of a motorcycle club and another motorcycle club member being, you know, in distress. Like, he made sure that I got something to eat. He made sure that I got to the hotel, because now I don't have wheels anymore. Like, I don't have a means to get around. Of course I could have Ubered, but I don't know the area. I don't know where the good hotels are versus the bad hotels are. You know, he wanted to make sure I was in an area where there was a lot of food options. It was easy to get around. It had decent hotels, like, you know what I mean? And I didn't have to spend, you know, at arm and a leg. Yeah. So yeah, so you know, Brother Israel, you said Brother Solomon. I think so. There was another couple that was riding too, you know, on their way back, and they stopped and they rode. I'm glad that they were able to catch up with each other, because they were kind of like talking on the phone, like they're like, oh, we stopped to help another rider. So I kind of felt bad that they had got separated, but as we were going down the highway, we actually caught up to them, so that it really did all work out. And then that really makes you feel like there's definitely divine intervention, and there's a higher power that is going to make sure that we get home the same way that we left. So I'm really just appreciative, and they prayed with me before they got back on the road to, you know, just for good, you know, spirit, and, you know, to make sure that, you know, the bike will be all right and I'll be all right, even once I get it back and I get home the same way, like I said, that I left. And I'm praying that they're doing okay on the road. They should almost be there if they're not there already. I just truly appreciate them, you know, stopping to help because they didn't have to. And like I said, to let somebody ride your bike, that's kind of sacred within itself. Like, you know what I mean? Because these motorcycles are expensive, you know what I mean? And so even though a rider's in distress, that still doesn't necessarily mean that you have to give up something that's valuable to you in order to help somebody else out. You know what I mean? They could have waited with me until AAA came. They could have did a whole lot of things other than letting somebody really ride your bike. So for that, I'm truly blessed and fortunate and very much appreciative. So I'm going to definitely send something their way once I get situated and I'm back home and I can. Definitely pull up on them because, like I said, Cleveland is right there. I'm just grateful and just fortunate to, you know, be surrounded by good people. You know, when you put good energy out, you tend to get it back. So I'm just happy. Pepsi Cola, welcome back from your trip from Egypt. Yo, y'all gonna have to talk to me tomorrow. That's gonna be Motorcycle Monday. Y'all gotta tell me all about it. So I hope you're not too tired, and I hope you got some good energy and you want to talk about it because it looked truly, truly amazing. And I really, really would love to talk to you guys. That's the on-call phone. Getting a phone call. I gotta go. I will talk to you guys later. I truly appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow.